ロサンゼルスドジャースの山本由伸投手が、日本時間21日に本拠地で行われたダイヤモンドバックス戦に先発登板し、メジャー移籍後最多となる100投球を投じて7回1安打無失点の快投を見せました。9回にリリーフ陣が追いつかれ、山本投手に勝ち星はつきませんでしたが、試合は延長10回にドジャースが4対3でサヨナラ勝ちを収め、連敗を4で止めました。この試合は、地元メディア、スポーツネット LA によって中継され、実況はステファン・ネルソン氏、解説は通算204勝を挙げたレジェンド OB のオーレル・ハーシュハイザー氏が務めました。両氏は山本投手の投球を終始高く評価し、現地放送は称賛に包まれました。
All right, hopefully they can get some run support for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the Dodgers gave Yoshi that record contract in December 2023 to eventually become an ace of this staff. And one of those main things that aces do, and what you look for your ace to do, is to stop losing streaks, which is something Yoshi will try to get done here tonight. Let's head inside the stadium for the first time. Check in with Kirsten Watson. She joins us live with more on Yamamoto. Hi there, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Well, if you look at Yoshinobu's last outing against the Diamondbacks, it was a start in which they were able to double his ERA. And as much as he felt like his stuff was good, he recognized that giving up that grand slam, that's how the team lost the game. So, of course, he comes into this one looking to right some of those wrongs. Dave Roberts talked about him being the ace, being the stopper in this one, and also talked about the lineup without having Teoscar Hernandez or Tommy Edman out there.
This is one of those starts. I mean, obviously we're mired in a losing streak, and you know, he's our ace, and so he's kind of had a couple pedestrian outings, his last two, but he's obviously had a fantastic start to the season. But these are the nights that you need your ace to be a stopper and go deep in the game.
When you look at Yoshinobu Yamamoto, it's hard to find a guy who's more important to their team right now than Yoshi is to the Dodgers, given the situation with that pitching staff.
Well, he's their ace. I mean, it's simple as that. And, you know, he talked about wanting to be the ace. And this year, he talks about wanting to win a Cy Young as well. Well, so far this year, he's acted like the ace. He's done that. And now more than ever, and especially today, they need him to be that ace. What's the ace's role? An ace's role to go deep in the baseball game, go deep in the game, to give the bullpen that time to reset. That's one. And the other thing, and you touched on it earlier, is to be that stopper. Well, yes. So they need both of those things today from their ace in Yamamoto. I know pressure, whatever, but that also comes with the role as an ace, and that's the pressure they already accept and put on themselves. We know that. We've seen that from Clayton Kershaw each and every time he goes out there. He's thinking about, I want to go deep in the game, I want to complete the game, and I want to go out there and help and finish whatever rut we may be in.
Nomar, your teammates are two of the best to ever do it. Pedro Martinez and Clayton Kershaw. I played with CC Sabathia and Clayton. Their mission, every time they took the hill, at least 7 innings. At least, but they're looking 8, possibly 9 innings of keeping your team in the game and expecting to win that ball game. And you talk about being that stopper to right the ship. That's what aces do. I expect Yamamoto to right the ship.
And that's what Cy Young Award winners do as well, something that Yoshi would love to do here in 2025.
You hope is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, he's pitched in the World Baseball Classic in the semifinals. He's pitched in the World Series in Game 2 and done amazing. Yes, this is another piece of being an ace and having a resume built that you can be counted on. And don't go out there and try and coast thinking, I need to go 7 innings, I need to save energy. You get to the 7th inning by getting the first guy out and having stuff early on that just shuts teams down. And then you put them in a hole, your pitch count will be fine, and you go 7 innings.
Talk about the 7 innings. I mean, John, as we get it back to you, getting it out in the 6th inning has been a rarity for the Dodgers of late. The last 14 games, that's happened just twice. Yoshinobu Yamamoto did it once, and Dustin May. The hope and the plan for the Dodgers. What do you got? Say it.
Congratulations to Joe.
Yes, 100% congrats to Joe. You know what? Here's the thing about Joe Davis. I was down on the field with him during batting practice yesterday, and we're talking about his logistics travel to New York, and he's like, I got no chance, but like, you know, it's a good experience. I texted him before the thing today. I was like, contrary to what you text, Joe, you absolutely do have a chance. And sure enough, the guy wins.
This is a night of
no
first.
Chance.
A night that we have wrestling at Dodger Stadium, and Joe Davis won his first Emmy. And this is the night.
And now the Dodgers can try to snap a 4-game win streak. the responsibility to ace, or part of it, is being a stopper during streaks such as this.
It really is. With Yamamoto on the mound, with the year that he's had, there have been 7 amazing starts, and the last 2 have been slightly pedestrian. But you know what? When he's throwing the ball well, he is going to dominate. And he was dominating in the game against Arizona until one swing, a bad cutter in the middle of the plate, all of a sudden put him behind the 8 ball. But I expect Yamamoto to be on his game tonight. He is a guy who's pitched in big games, and this is a big one for the Dodgers.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto this year has ascended, become the ace of the Dodgers staff. Now trying to help him snap a 4-game skid. His first pitch to Corbin Carroll is a fastball away, ball 1.
He would have had some competition to be the ace of the Dodgers if the other 3 guys didn't get hurt in this rotation. In some ways, because of the injuries, it becomes a must that the Dodgers win on his start nights.
And that is why, for some fans, if you're having an MVP discussion about the Dodgers, you have to include Yamamoto, given what he has meant and had to mean to this staff as a whole. The Dodgers entered this series 21st in baseball in team ERA. They've given up at least 6 runs in each of the last 4 games, and 5 of 7 on the homestand, as Carroll pushes a fly ball to left center field. Kike Hernandez will call for it. Now Ketel Marte missed some time with injury this year, but when he's been healthy against the Dodgers, he always seems to find hits. Took Yamamoto deep at Chase Field a couple weeks ago. Quickly 0-2.
Well, strike 1 is a huge part of this Dodger pitching staff comeback, and getting here to 0-2 is good, and that brings the split into play, which was the last pitch. That pitch is a ground ball machine.
Splitter dives down and away from Marte, 1-2.
It's a good miss. And I give Yoshinobu a little bit of a mulligan, because in Arizona the ball can get really slippery with the dry weather, and that's hard when you're throwing a split finger and you're breaking stuff. Not only is his stuff electric and elite, but the location is the same.
Popped him up. Playable in right. Pages will charge in and secure out number 2.
Okay, 1 more out. We get through the first.
I'm knocking on my head, and will serve as a substitute for Wood in this scenario. In those first 7 starts, 40 innings, 7 earned runs. So you do the math, it was a sub-1 ERA, 0.90. The last 2 gone away from him a little bit. Both those starts coming on 5 days rest, so shorter than the typical 6.
Sometimes it's not the 24 hours that is lacking in the rest, it's changing your program a little bit. And his is very meticulous, but I don't think he would take it as an excuse. But we'll watch to see if it's a pattern.
Broken back, ground ball to Betts. And that is a 1-2-3, top of the first, and a 0. He did it. 1-2.
There's a split finger right there, and it is a good sign for the Dodgers and Yamamoto. In the first inning, he gets those 3 up, 3 down through 16 pitches, only 2 splitters. The splitter's the pitch that Arizona had trouble with in his last outing against them.
You look at the last 12 starts for the Dodgers. A 1-2-3 first inning has only been done 3 times. All of them by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Payoff coming to Moreno. Got him swinging. Pumped a fastball by him at 96.
He is showing some confidence in the fastball. This one is near the middle of the plate, but has good life and tailing action. Maintained its height. That would be the spin that does that.
And Yamamoto's fastball, or it's not regarded as a special pitch in terms of shape or the metrics and whatnot. Doesn't get a ton of swing and miss, but because opposing hitters seem to respect the rest of his arsenal, can play up in spots like we just saw with Moreno.
Yeah, for sure. His spray pattern on his fastball can be a little wider, really because of the split finger.
Good curve on the outer corner.
Now that curveball will work here on this first time through the order, because the fastball misses have been kind of up and away to the arm side, and that's the window that curveball comes out of. It's not matching up with the slider or the split yet. That was the cutter right there. But if you're missing up with your fastball, if you have a slider, a split, and a curve, the curveball is the one that would hurt the hitter's eyes. If you're commanding the lower fastball, then you want the splitter and the slider more off of that.
Third full count in 6 batters faced for Yamamoto. A roller to Freddie. And Freeman's going to wait for Yama to cover the bag, which he does. 6 up, 6 down for Yamamoto. In case they missed it, something you said was don't conserve anything. Don't wait around. What exactly do you mean?
Well, you can go out there thinking they need me to throw 100, 110 pitches. And if you go out there with a little less effort because you want to make sure you give the quantity and you lack a little bit on quality, all of a sudden you're getting hit around and you got to go to the tank even more, and now your pitch count's out of whack and the scoreboard's out of whack. So you go as hard as you can in a short burst at the beginning of every inning on purpose to set the table for a quick inning and to set the table for a 0 being posted. You know, in our day, we were thinking, you know, we're going to be out here for 120 to 130 pitches. And now, you know, I'm going to be out here for probably 100 no matter what. But if you go to the highest quality and effort level at the beginning of every inning, get that first leading lady out, get that first strike, and just really bear down as much as you can, like it's a World Series game in Game 2 for Yamamoto, like it's a WBC game. Look for that level of adrenaline and effectiveness. You'll go deeper into the game.
Say that curve was effective, getting strike 3 on Thomas.
It was just a personal lesson, really. You know, you go out there and you're thinking, okay, just conserve energy, take it easy here, don't show too many bullets. You know, I got to go at least 7. But almost better to say I'm going to attack. Outstanding pitch, little tailing action right to that corner. You will really notice Will Smith behind the plate. His targets are very precise when Yamamoto's on the mound. Yamamoto doesn't want a general in, out, or down the middle target. He wants a corner target.
His payoff pitch to Lawler. Froze him and got him. Back-to-back punch-outs for Yama to finish off a 1-2-3 third. Perfect through the first time of the order against the D-backs. Push to the left side. Mookie beats Carroll. Kirsten Watson down next to the dugout.
Well, Stephen, with Yoshinobu on the mound and Hae-Sung Kim playing defense behind him, these two guys have built a really special relationship. There will be times when both of them are down on the bench. Well, they will just be chit-chatting with each other pretty much the entire game. And there was a moment where I was like, what language are they speaking to each other? Because I didn't think there were similar words in Korean and Japanese. I asked around, and they said there are a few that are similar, but not really. So finally, I got to talk to the guys, and they said they speak to each other in English. And so it's a little bit of a broken English because they're both learning, but it's a way for them to continue practicing, and it works perfectly for them, guys.
Another 1-2 to Gurriel. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 went to the split.
I love that you use the center of the plate there. He's proving that he's throwing a lot of strikes now, so start one right down the middle and use that movement. The bat starts because of the location at the beginning, and then the bat misses because of the location at the end.
So Yoshinobu Yamamoto working with the lead in the 5th. First pitch, Gabriel Moreno sends it sky high to the left side of the infield. Got a parachute on it once he makes the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Yama in the 5th.
That helps the pitch count, of course. That's at 63. And he wants to go deep into this game, and a nice clean 5th inning would do well. He's been really leaning on the curveball. He's thrown 19 curveballs. It's 3 shy of a season high already. We're only 1 out into the 5th. D-backs are 0 for 5 off that pitch.
Another 2-2. Got him. Painted a fastball on the outside corner. Strikeout number 5 for Yamamoto. 2 out in the 5th.
Curveball has been outstanding, but so has the fastball location. Once we got by about the 2nd inning, he really has locked in on the corners with that pitch.
One more out to go to get through the fifth, and the pitch count will be well in order. It's interesting watching his concentration and trying to get inside his head as you watch his eyes. Sometimes I think the eyes look off as he's listening to the pitch.
That's 3. Fastball in the inner third.
I think about how you don't want a lot of information coming through your eyes when you're trying to listen and remember what pitch you're about to throw and then visualizing it. So sometimes you see his eyes kind of move around like, you know, the ears are working, not the eyes. And then after he hears it, you kind of see him focus in on visualizing and throwing the pitch.
Yamamoto's having the success tonight, World, despite just 56% first pitch strikes. It's just the 10th in 18 Diamondbacks faced.
Yeah, and I'm not going to call it effectively wild. I think he's just making pitches when he needs to tonight. And they don't have any idea what's coming, but if they do, he still made really good pitches. So when he gets backed into certain counts and it's a fastball, he's made excellent fastball pitches.
Swing and a miss. Waller on top of a curve, 2-2.
Season high with the curveball now, really mixing that in well.
He struck him out with a splitter.
Action fastball inside at 94, then the curveball, and then this splitter. Wow. Yeah, the first pitch strikes might not be at an elite level, but the pitch selection and execution is.
At the knees, called strike 3. Yamamoto strikes out the side and gives him 6 no-hit innings. StatCast will illustrate those Ks. Marte, a rocket to right. Pages on the run. It goes over his head and off the base of the wall, but he gets it back in quickly, and Marte holds up on first with a leadoff base hit. The first of the game for Arizona against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the fans that recognize it at Dodger Stadium standing and applauding. Naylor chops it to second. He takes his time, makes a good throw. Marte does advance on the play. Tying run 90 feet away, but 2 outs in the 7th. It is a 4-pitch walk to Moreno. Good curve, 1-1. We've said that several times tonight. Good curve.
Career high in curveballs, and it has been an outstanding one. You can see why they continue to pull the trigger on it.
New career high in pitches thrown in a game coming right here. 95 at the knee, strike 2.
Giving himself a mound visit after that pitch. 1-2 count. 2 excellent pitches that he threw, the curveball and the fastball at the knees. What does he go with here?
Dodger Stadium to its feet. First and third, 2 out. A 1-2. Fouled back into the net. Pitch 110. An ace on the mound. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the 2-2. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 7 shutout innings.
Playing behind Yoshinobu tonight, what gave him the edge that you were seeing from him on the mound?
He was just attacking. It looked like he had command of all of his pitches. He was moving out on both sides of the plate. He had them off balance, and, you know, he was just really, really good.
You know, Max Muncy was talking about getting interviewed. He's like, he was just attacking the hitters and trusting his stuff, and it did look like he had everything going and even going out there with the fastball.
We go to the 3rd inning, 1 down for Alec Thomas. And it's Yamamoto going to the breaking ball to get him for the strikeout.
He had everything working out. Great fastball command. The split. Here's a 12-6 hammer to get Thomas.
Then Jordan Lawler, their top prospect in the organization, takes a called strike 3.
Man, that was a nasty pitch. I mean, just freezing hitters. I mean, look where it started. It started at his front hip. That's why he took it. That's why he froze. And all of a sudden, you're hoping as a hitter, please be a ball. And it hits strike zone.
We go to the 4th. Corbin Carroll at the plate. Hits one to Mookie Betts.
And that split running down and away from Carroll. Once again, soft contact for Yamamoto.
He was just cruising at this point. Gets Gurriel.
I mean, when you have that splitter working, it looks like a fastball. The last 10 feet darts out of the zone.
Top of the 5th. Back to Yamamoto. Gets Pavin Smith looking.
Man, what a great location with that fastball. Talk about when Yamamoto has that split finger that just falls off the table. We talk about establishing the fastball, which keeps the hitters off balance and guessing, and especially if he establishes it low, man, good luck.
Back out there for the 6th against Alec Thomas, another backwards K.
I mean, really working all 4 quadrants tonight with that fastball, freezing Thomas. Got him with the breaking ball earlier here at 96. I mean, perfectly placed fastball.
One down for Lawler. It's another punch out.
Goodness. I mean, as a hitter, you're swinging at that, but you're like, looks like a fastball out of his hand, and it's a strike.
Not fun.
So 2 down in the inning, and Corbin Carroll up there, and why not punch out the side?
I mean, when you're having that fastball at the knees, and as a hitter, sometimes, is that a split? I don't know. No, it's a fastball. Freezing the hitter, Carroll.
Yoshi keeping him hitless through the first 6 innings. Still 1-0 going to the top of the 7th inning. Yamamoto working on a no-hitter facing Ketel Marte. Challenged him on a 3-1 pitch, and Marte bangs it off the wall.
Yeah, you get behind, very rare behind the count, 3-1. Does challenge him. Marte squares up. Great throw by Pajes to limit him to a single.
I mean, especially when you're like Yamamoto, and then he's going, okay, I gave up my hit. All right, the no-hitter's over. But then you get that, keep him on first base. You still feel like you can get that double play ball, and then he comes back and does that.
And the emotion from Yoshi. 7 scoreless innings, 110 pitches, only 1 hit allowed. What a night it was for him, and boy, did the Dodgers need it. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was absolutely brilliant, did exactly what the Dodgers needed from him tonight.
You know, it's amazing. He was a very accomplished pitcher in Japan. Was outstanding. When he came over here, yes, last year he was a rookie, but he really started to pitch like a veteran. This season, pitching like a Cy Young Award candidate, and really tonight, really made a nice early statement against a very tough D-backs lineup. He shut them down for 7 strong innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, but again, more importantly, he gave his team a chance to win. Because let's be real, the last 4 nights has not gone our way, and then some. We needed him to be that stop.
You know, he's answered every big moment that he's been put in so far in that Dodger uniform. You know, I know, you know, his first game, obviously the nerves, and he admitted it, nervous, and understandably so. But then after that first game last year, and then the other big moments, how about when he had to start over at Yankee Stadium, and then he came up huge, right? And then we know he was pitching outstanding, and then he gets injured, and then comes back, and then he gets the ball in the postseason. Postseason outstanding. World Series, he's outstanding. And then now coming into this year, you're having to be out there and need to be that ace. We said how important today's game was going to be. Jerry, I know you said, but we were saying, listen, this is a must-win. This was a big one that you need to get, and you need him to act like the ace, go deep, and be that stopper. And he delivered once again.
I just love the fact that, you know what's amazing? He continues to get better and better. And yes, he has great stuff, but he pitches with that stuff with command, fastball command, breaking ball command, and obviously that split. This D-backs team can flat out swing the bat, and they just saw him in Arizona, so they're very familiar with them. And for him to make an adjustment and pitch the way he needed to pitch tonight, outstanding job.
It was a pitching clinic tonight by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Does not factor into the decision, but the Dodgers get the win in 10 innings. Yes, that losing streak is over thanks to the 4th walk-off win of the season.
Just how you and Yoshinobu navigated through their lineup just so efficiently. What was working so well for you guys tonight?
Yeah, he was just mixing. His curveball was really good tonight. His cutter, turned out to be really good tonight as well. Obviously, he's always got good fastball command. His changeup was for a splitter was really good. So, yeah, just mixing it up, keeping him off balance. Going up, down, in, out, all that. He just executed. It was really fun tonight.
Was leaning on that curveball, was that more kind of game plan, or was that just kind of how it was playing and how he was executing it?
Yeah, just kind of how it was playing. He was striking it really well. He was getting it below 2 strikes. So he was kind of rolling with it.
Yeah, Yoshi was fantastic. We needed every bit of it. Certainly, we pushed him more than we have all year, and he earned that opportunity. I thought tonight he was just getting ahead of hitters all night long. The split, the curveball really came into play today. But that's a very tough lineup to navigate. And he just competed his tail off and going 7 innings, set us up certainly to win a ball game. And I thought early we swung the bats well, didn't get anything to show for it. But, it certainly turned in that 9th inning. But to come away with the win was huge.
He was up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who for a while, I was getting a lot of text up here in the booth, hey, it's a no-hitter. Well, no kidding. The guy was really good here tonight.
Yeah, he was good, and we didn't see as many splitters as we anticipated. He had a real good curveball that he stole some strike ones against the Diamondbacks tonight, but his best weapon was a low fastball right across the bottom of the knees all night long.
Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. It was broken up by Ketel Martiz, a single to lead off the 7th, but Yamamoto, 7 scoreless, only 1 hit. He walked 2, punched out 9, and threw 110 pitches, a career high.
Yeah, it seems odd in this day and age to extend a guy that far, but Yamamoto didn't look like he was losing anything out there on the mound, so I can certainly see why Dave Roberts rolled with him as long as he did.
They turned it over to the bullpen to work the latter innings here.
Troy, it looked like you might lose this game 1-0 the way Yamamoto was pitching, but to lose it the way that you did 4-3,
yeah,
how much tougher is that to stomach?
Yeah, it's every loss is a tough loss, and we kept fighting. We fought the whole way through this game. Yamamoto had some really good stuff today, and I think our guys were grinding. We got that first hit by Ketel, and I feel like that energized us a little bit, and then we tied up the game with a solo home run in the 9th inning. So our guys were fighting the whole day, and I'm proud of that. We just came up a little short. It stinks. We had everything lined up. It would have been kind of a steal win for us with consideration to what Yamamoto did, but it wasn't in the cards.
When you have those guys coming up in the 10th and you have, Ohtani and then obviously
Freeman.
Betts got out and then Freeman, you give him the base there. It's a hornet's nest, isn't it?
Yeah, you have some really experienced hitters. Ohtani is as good as it gets, and I just felt like if somebody else, I was just going to check off of it. I was going to go right down the line. If somebody else is going to have to beat us, and then when I got to Freeman, somebody else is going to have to beat us. I think the hit by pitch was a big out, was a big situation. We got to execute right there. So when they tied the score, things looked very desperate. But I wasn't anticipating it was going to get that far. We had targets. We got to our targets, and it just didn't work out.
7回のピンチの場面では、マウンド上の山本投手のもとにムーキー・ベッツ選手やマックス・マンシー選手らが集まり、笑顔を交えながら声をかける様子が見られました。このシーンについて、山本投手は試合後、
次のボールの話もしましたし、とにかく、なんて言うんだろう、和ますじゃないですけど、いい意味でリラックスできるように声をかけてくれたので、次のバッターに集中していきました。
と語り、チームメイトの気遣いに感謝を示しました。また、ノーヒットノーランを意識したかという質問には、
やっぱり区間はすごく遠いので、130球ぐらい投げられたら別ですけど、球数は順調にいってたんで、はい、とにかく目の前のバッターに集中して投げてました。
と答え、目の前の一球一球に集中していた姿勢を明かしました。ご視聴ありがとうございました。これからも山本選手のさらなる活躍から目が離せません。チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いします。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。